welcome to my channel Engineering Made Simple. Now we were studying signals and systems course. Now in that we were studying about classification of continuous time signals. Now in that, in the earlier class we studied one of the classification of continuous time signals, which were periodic and non-periodic or aperiodic signals. And now in today's lecture we are going to see yet another classification of CT signals, which is energy and power signals. So let us understand what are energy signals and power signals in continuous time case. That is, there are some signals, there are some continuous time signals which are CT signals, which are classified as energy, or and some signals are classified as power signals. Now let us define this, what are energy signals and what are power signals. So okay, now let us define what first one is an energy signal. Energy signal, which is of the type of which is a continuous time signal. Now understand this first. So the signals, this is the definition of energy signal. The signals which have finite energy are known as energy signal. So this is the definition of our energy signals. So the signals which have finite energy are known as energy signals. Now we have studied the concept of energy since our childhood. Now what is the unit of energy? Unit of energy is nothing but joules. So when somebody asks you to calculate the energy of a continuous time signal, so this definition also you should know, because the signals which have some finite energy meaning it would be anything. Let's say for example 4 joules, 5 joules and so on. So if we get after computation if we get a finite or constant value, we say that the given signal is an energy signal. Now you will understand this when we solve examples on how to calculate the energy of a given signal waveform. But for time being, understand this definition. The signals which have a finite energy, that is we will get a finite value of energy, and they are known as energy signals, and it is expressed in joules. So now let us see how to compute the energy. Now the energy of a continuous time signal is denoted by x of t is given by. Now in the problem you will be given x of t and you are supposed to find out its energy. So now here we have the energy of a continuous time signal is given by energy is equal to limit t tends to infinity minus t to plus t absolute on mod value of x of t the whole square dt. So this is the relation for computing the energy of a continuous time signal. Now let us look at this relation. Energy of a continuous time signal is given by limit t tends to infinity minus t to plus t magnitude or absolute value of x of t the whole square dt. Now you understand one thing, when you are supposed to calculate the energy of the signal, the mathematical expression of x of t, which is the continuous time signal, will be given to you. You are supposed to square it and find its absolute value, and then integrate over this time interval minus t to t, and then after that you are supposed to apply the limit to get the final value of energy signal. Now the signals which are non-periodic, or another name for non-periodic signal is aperiodic signal. are generally energy signals. And what are the examples of such signals which are energy signals? Now I have stated that the signals which are non-periodic are aperiodic in nature. Aperiodic meaning the signal which does not repeat itself after a certain fundamental time period. So a signal which doesn't exhibit the phenomenon of periodicity is known as aperiodic or non-periodic signals. Now what were those types of signals? First one in that is your wait a minute. So you have exponential signal. Is an example of your energy signal, because you can see an exponential signal can be either of increasing or decreasing type. So let us see if it, even if it is of a decreasing type, let's say even if it is decreasing, it doesn't exhibit any periodicity. So this particular signal has finite amount of energy stored in this signal. So an example of energy signal is a simple example of energy signal is an exponential signal. So now let us move on to define periodic signals, and then we will move to study some of the theorems. Theorem, it is not theorem in practice actually. There are some properties of energy and power signals. We will study that, and then after that we will move on to numericals for computation for both calculation of energy of continuous time signal and power of continuous time signal. Now let's study another definition: power of a continuous time signal. Now what is a power signal? Power signal of continuous time. The signals which have finite average power, finite average power, finite average power are known as power signals. Now how are you going to compute the power? So power signals are nothing but the signals which have a finite average power, continuous time signal x of t. The power of a continuous time signal x of t is given by the expression, the equation. So how will you compute the average power when you have the signal x of t equation given to you? So power is given by 1 over 2t. Let me write it one second. So power is equal to limit t tends to infinity 1 over 2t minus t to minus t to plus t x of t the whole square dt. This is equation number A. That's it. So this is the expression for power. Now, so when you are given a signal, a continuous time signal x of t, and you are supposed to compute its power, it's how will you compute? You will compute power is equal to limit t tends to infinity 1 over 2t minus t to plus t modulus of x of t the whole square dt. This is equation number A. Then for equation number let us say for periodic signal, we have this thing. We compute the average power. We compute the average power. for one period interval. One period interval. Now what does this mean? For periodic signals we compute the average power for only one period interval because periodic signals will repeat itself after some fundamental time period. So if we compute the average power over one interval, the average power over remaining intervals of period will be the same because the periodic signal will repeat itself periodically. Hope this is clear. Now, so for that equation is slightly different. Power is equal to, because we are evaluating over only one time period, power will be equal to 1 over t integral 0 to t minus t 0 to t modulus of x of t the whole square dt. This is the second equation to compute power. Its value will be also in watts because watts is the unit of power, average power in this case. Now because we are computing over only one time period interval, there is no limit in this case. We are evaluating over a single time period, and that's why it is 1 over t 0 to t integral mod of x of t the whole square dt. So this is equation number B. Now we will study some of the properties of both the energy and power signals. Now let us study those properties and we will prove those properties also. So now let us study those properties. First property is for energy signals. For energy signals, E is constant. That means energy can take any value. So this is the energy signal. So energy can take any value between 0 less than E less than infinity. Okay. Between 0 less than E less than infinity. Then in that case, power of the given energy signal P will be equal to 0. Because in simpler terms, what does this property mean? For energy signals which are for continuous time energy signal, a continuous type of energy signals, the power of the energy signal will be 0. And what will be the next property? So for power signals, so if we have power signal, and remember one thing, power signals are generally periodic signals. Now what are the examples of power signals in our continuous time case? Commonly used examples are our complex exponential signals, sinusoidal and cosinusoidal signals. So generally we can say that generally our periodic signals are power signals. So for power signals we will state the second property. So for power signals, P is constant, and its value lies between 0 less than P less than infinity, because it is a finite value which will be expressed in watts. So for a power signal of continuous type, its energy will be infinite. So then the energy of the power signal will be infinite. So if a power signal is given to us and we calculate its power value by computing the integral which we discussed earlier, then if we get a power as some finite value, let's say 1 watt, 2 watt, 3 watt, then the energy of the same signal will be infinity. So this is what this statement means. Now we will prove both these statements. Now let us prove these properties. So let us move on to the proof. So I am erasing these statements, but keep in mind I am proving those statements. So you can rewind the video and write those properties. For simplicity purpose and space constraint, I am erasing those and proving. So these two properties or these two statements we need to prove. So now let us prove this statement. About the properties. So for that we know that the energy of continuous time signal is given by limit t tends to infinity minus t2 plus t mod of x of t the whole square dt. This is our energy equation. Let us label it as equation number A. Now we know that what is the power of continuous time signal x of t. How will you compute the power of continuous time signal x of t? The equation for that is given by power is equal to limit t tends to infinity 1 over 2t minus t to t x of t mod of x of t the whole square dt. So this is our equation to compute the power of a continuous time signal. So this is our equation number B. Now this is the equation number A is the relation to compute the energy of a continuous time signal. Equation number B is the relation to compute the power of the continuous time signal. Now what were those two properties? If energy signal is there, if energy has some constant value, that means the given signal is an energy signal, then its power will be 0. And another case was whenever we have power as a constant value, energy is infinite. Now let us start proving this property. So for that we will make use of the above equation. So we will make use of the above equation. So now put the value. Now this is our equation number B. So now I will write the next step. Put value of equation number A. Put the value obtained from equation number A in equation number B. Now I am asking you to substitute value obtained from equation number A in equation number B. Now closely look over here. What is our equation number B? That is the power equation. Power is equal to limit t tends to infinity 1 over 2t minus t to t modulus of x of t the whole square dt. So this is our equation number B. Now we are supposed to substitute value of equation A in equation number B. Now have a close look over here. Only this part which I am underlining. So what is minus t2 plus t modulus of x of t the whole square dt? And limit t tends to infinity as it is outside. So if we compare this two equation, comparing equation A and B, so limit t tends to infinity minus t to t modulus of x of t the whole square dt is nothing but energy. See, look at the equation number A. So what is the equation for energy? Limit t tends to infinity minus t to t modulus of x of t the whole square dt is equation number A. So now, and in the power equation also we can get the equation for energy. So here limit t tends to infinity is as it is, and minus t to t modulus of x of t the whole square dt is nothing but the energy relation which we have. So let us write it in this way. So power is given by, so power of the signal is given by what is common we will take outside. 1 over 2t is common, and what is limit t tends to infinity minus t2 plus t x of t the whole square dt. So this whole thing, underlined thing, or I will put a square bracket over it. So this is nothing but the energy of the signal. So what we get over here, nothing but that is the energy part of it. So what is the energy part of it? This limit t tends to infinity will be also outside. So our only energy relation is this, that is minus t to t x of t the whole square dt. So let us substitute and let us see what we get in equation number B. So now, as we know, this is our power equation, that is limit t tends to infinity 1 over 2t and minus t2 plus t x of t the whole square dt. Now have a look at this underlined part only in this particular one. This is nothing but energy of the signal. Now let us put this as value as energy, because energy is equal to integral minus t to t modulus of x of t the whole square dt. So now we have power is equal to limit t tends to infinity 1 over 2t into energy, because we have replaced minus t to integral over minus t to plus t modulus of or absolute value of x of t the whole square dt by its energy value, because from equation A we know that energy is nothing but minus t to plus t modulus of x of t the whole square dt. So this is the reason behind replacing E. Now what was our statement saying? So whenever our energy is a constant value, so let's say energy is a constant value. To our statement number 1. Now when energy is a constant value, there is no need to apply limit. As you can see, limit is applied only on the variable t, time period. So E is constant, we have said, as per our statement. When E is constant, meaning E can take any value between 0 less than E less than infinity. Okay. So we will take the constant outside and then we will apply the limit. So we have taken the constant outside, then we will apply the limit. Limit t tends to infinity 1 over 2. Now, so power is equal to energy which is constant and limit t tends to infinity 1 over 2t. What will be the value after substituting limit? It would be 1 upon 2 into infinity. So anything divided by infinity will be a smaller value which is approximately equal to 0. I am talking about 1 upon 2 into infinity, because in fraction it would be a very large value in denominator. So 1 over 2 into infinity will be close to 0. So anything into 0, that is power is equal to energy into 0, will be 0. So our first property is proved. What our first property is, we stated that whenever energy is constant, we have power 0. Now the same case can be proven if we take energy equation here and put the value of power in that to get the result for the second equation. What was the second property? When power is equal to constant, your energy is infinite. Now this particular case you can prove by taking energy equation and then substituting the value of P over here and then evaluating. So in that case, when you are proving second case, you need to do substitute equation, substituting equation A by value of equation B. So exactly inverse substitution we have to do in order to prove the second property, that I am not proving. So that was pretty much simpler. Another important thing which I was telling to you since the very start of this lecture, that we will also learn how to calculate the energy and power of the signal. So for that I am going to take few numericals on this topic. That numericals I will cover in the next class. So that's all for the day.